We have a
Yes.
very nice weather today,
Oh,
especially
my goodness. Well, we can't come yet. We're not allowed in.
yeah.
Send,
If,
send some warmth over here.
Oh, I would try. I would try. Is
Or
New
where are
York coming
you
back to life?
Where are you located? Which town, which community?
Right now, I'm in Beer Sheva. Actually, I'm in the heart of the Beer Sheva ecosystem. I'm in the high-tech park of Beer Sheva right now.
We've been there.
Oh, I know. This is where I work from, actually.
Excellent.
Hi,
Rose
Hannah.
not been there yet.
No, not yet. Someday.
Ro, just a quick aside, I delayed the deadline for the Grota interim reports.
Oh, okay. Did you change it on the system?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Is Odelia on?
No. Surprisingly.
Hannah, how are you today? You know a television crew is escorting Hannah through the whole day.
They were to eat something, so I have a 3 minutes,
Good.
a free couple of minutes.
Hi, Shai.
Ro, can you switch me to be the host, please?
Sure.
Thank you. Hi, Hannah.
Hi, I'm here with Shai.
Hi,
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good evening. For
My
us,
next
it's early
generation-
morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Reenie.
Good morning. How are you, Gordon?
Good. Did you have a chance to watch that video?
I did. I started it, then I watched our videos for today. I mean, our slides for today. So
Today?
I want to watch more of it.
Interesting guy.
Very, very. I don't see Odelia yet.
Hello, everyone.
Good morning. Good morning, Dana.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Howard.
Morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Or good afternoon,
Or good afternoon. That's right.
It's only 6 hours difference.
right?
That's right. Yesterday morning, I woke up and said, wait a minute, it's 6 hours difference. Did we calculate that? The answer was
It's only
yes.
for 2 weeks, though, you know.
Only for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna change our clock as well.
In 2 weeks.
Change on the
That's good to
Thursday
know.
before Shavuos.
There are some states in the United States that have multiple time zones, some that move forward, some that don't. And I find it very confusing.
There are 3 states that don't move.
Right,
Or 2, Hawaii and Arizona don't move.
right. Good morning, Jerry.
Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you, I should have said. Correct.
Where's my friend Jerry? He's right here.
Hi, Jerry.
Gorgeous, gorgeous day today.
We'll get started in a couple of minutes.
Odelia with us?
Not at this moment.
It's here. Morning, Jerry.
Good morning to you.
I think we're about to have a nice day today too. A little warm, but nice.
Not down, not back here. Got
Gordon
cold.
is
Got
Gordon
cold.
is in Florida. We have folks
I
in
know, I
different
know.
places.
I know. I
Good
know.
morning,
where
Leslie. Good morning. Ken, where are you? Are you in New Jersey or Massachusetts or Florida?
Florida.
Oh, a neighbor.
He's no
Morning,
dummy.
neighbor.
And Marcy, where are you?
Sitting in my office in Bergen County.
Oh,
Very
wonderful.
picture.
Morning, Marsh.
Good morning.
Here's Odelia. Good
Morning,
morning,
Marcia.
Odelia. Good
Can you hear me
afternoon.
now?
Yes.
And can you see me? Okay, so now it's working.
Ah, there you go. Good morning, Odelia.
Good morning. My computer did not wake up yet.
It's all right, neither did I.
So, Howard, would you like to open or I missed you opening and we can start?
If we're ready, good morning to all. Good afternoon, Chodesh Tov, and why don't we just begin? So we stay on track.
I
Okay.
just tried. Oh, Amazon likes that.
So nice to see everyone. Good morning, good afternoon for the people in Israel. And I'm really happy to introduce you with some of them you already know. You know Hannah Rado. She's here with us. And I have to say she's extremely excited, I guess, because she's hosting the national channel of the Israeli TV, who is making an article about her. So I guess they will take photo of some of this meeting. And we also have Dana Gavish from Ben Gurion University, which you all familiar with, and you know her. We met her 2 years ago here at the High Tech Park. And we have Or Santo, which spent the whole weekend praying for his wife not to give birth to his upcoming twins.
Wow.
Oh, Shana Tova.
Thank you.
So she's holding on in the meantime. So let's do it before things will change. Okay, so אתה מתחיל? You're open? You open?
Yeah, just also with us is, I now see Carmel Sofer, Professor Carmel Sofer, which is the chairman of Yazamut 360.
He's here because we can't see him.
Hello.
Oh, here he is. Here he is. Yes, I can see him. Hi, Carmel.
Hi.
Judy
Okay,
has some
you
nice
can share the
mountains.
screen.
Okay, I shared a presentation, but I can't see your faces since I do it, so I'm gonna reckon you're smiling. So good morning, everyone. Yeah, you've met Hannah, you met Dana, but you haven't met me. You know all about the program, so I'm very happy to be here this morning. My name is Or Santo, and I'm actually a Negev native. I was born in Beersheba and raised in Beersheba. I used to own two small businesses in the city of Beersheba, and I'm a local entrepreneur. And now, actually, I have also a bachelor's and master's degree from Ben Gurion University. And now, as part of my work with Dana and Carmel in Yazamut 360 Center, I also founded and I manage the e-commerce 360 program. As Odelia said, with us today is also my partner in this venture, Hannah Rado, and she is the chairwoman and owner of Group 19, and also honored with the Medal of Distinction from the Perez Center for Innovation and Peace. And also just this year chosen as one of the 50 most influential women in Israel by Globes magazine. Hannah, would you like to say some words?
Now?
Why
Okay.
not?
Okay. So I think that part of you know me.
Yep.
Yes, it's true.
Good.
Yes.
So you were with me with Desert 19, and now we are here in Negev 19, and we plan to create 6 centers like Negev 19. Now we are in Ofakim, and I think it's a very special day for us because Deloitte, one of the 4 biggest consulting companies, signed with us a contract to employ 6 people, and in the future maybe 60 people. So it's a great day. We are here now 20 employees, and in Sderot we are 30 employees, and with Or and Dana, and with you, of course, we plan to bring to the Negev a new technologies and so on. And Or and Dana are our best partner. And I'm here with Shai Meinrad. She's my next generation, and she's also from Negev 19. She lives here, and I think we are with the future now in this meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Hannah. Okay, let me get into the presentation. And this is the reason that we're actually here today. Whether you know it or not, in the past 3 years, the Negev is with the highest closing businesses rate in the whole state, and it is struggling. Even as a former business owner, I have seen many of my friends struggle with their business in the past year, and I even wrote a research for the Bloomberg Foundation 3 years ago addressing this exact issue. And I found that the main reason that this is happening for the Negev is because of the inability of Negev businesses to adapt to the new e-commerce field. And many people have shifted to buy online. Of course, I guess that all of you have at least did it once or twice this past year. And when you buy online, it's very comfortable. You can do it from the comfort of your own home. And you can benchmark lots of products, and you can get many reviews on a product. So once you get adopted to this type of shopping, there's really no reason almost to shop local in a store. And of course, since of the pandemic, lots of people that haven't been used to e-commerce have been forced to get used to it and shop from their homes. And this whole field is emerging very fast. And so we want to help the Negev commercial scene in the sense that we know that in order to ensure sustainability for the Negev commercial scene, we must help the entrepreneurs and the business owners of the Negev to adopt and not only sell online locally, but sell online to the whole world. This is the message of our program. And we want to build a whole new e-commerce ecosystem in that sense. And so most people, when they shop online, they shop through what we call a marketplace. There are many marketplaces in the world, but we looked at the biggest one, which is of course Amazon. And here you can see the trend of how people from year to year are leaning towards shopping online. Between 2019 and 2020, there has been an amazing increase of 41% in sales on Amazon. An amazing number of $475 billion in sales, and this is on the American platform alone. But what's more interesting about this number, in this green square, $295 billion of the sales, more than 60%, was conducted by what's called a third-party merchants. These people are individuals. They might as well be any place in the world. And they have decided to provide for themselves by opening shops on Amazon. And these people are actually generating most of the sales on Amazon today. And so it's easy to open a shop on Amazon or any other platform for that matter. And you can see there's right now 3 million active sellers on Amazon today. But when you look closely, you see that less than 10% actually succeed in generating profits. And the reason for that is that those less than 10%, those people have provided themselves, of course they're skilled, right? But they have provided themselves with additional training and tools to become this successful and to provide themselves with high revenue. And so this is exactly where we come in. We want to train those future merchants to become the 10% or even the 1% in generating profit on Amazon. So as you probably know by now, Negev Prime is a joint venture of Yazamut 360. Yazamut 360 is the Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation in Ben-Gurion University. We are leading many programs within the center. We have a student-led venture capital that invests in student ideas. We have an accelerator, a technological accelerator called Oasis. And also, a few months ago, we had formed a new program, the e-commerce 360 program. And now we have joined Negev 19 and Link 19 in order to create Negev Prime. Hannah, I would love you to say a few words about Group 19.
I would like Shai to explain because Shai is with me. And
so Group 19 is a group of social businesses that is divided in different, oh, the logo is not, okay, never mind. It's divided to different locations all over Israel. We have one in the north that is Lev 19 that deals with finance. We have Midbar 19, which is in Mitzvah Ramona, and apparently you know about it. And we have Negev 19, where we are now in Ofakim, that is divided into several sections of activity. We Link 19 is the digital agency that is right now focusing on building websites for small businesses in the south. We also just started an exciting cooperation with a high-tech company for small businesses called Solomoto, which gives them an amazing solution for managing the entire media from one place. And then we also have Negev Market, which that particular section of Negev 19 builds relationships and manages the business community of all businesses from the area. We have hundreds of businesses that are members in that community, and we have a community manager that closely monitors their activity, assists them with anything that they need. And since we are here and we're local, we know their needs the best. That's why this cooperation is so amazing. And another thing that we have is Tava Negev that grew out of Negev Market, and Tava Negev gives the businesses the actual platform to give away gifts from the Negev to the Negev, and everyone wins from local buying from different businesses, and that's basically what we do in Negev 19. Apart, only the activity that has to do with this initiative.
Thank you, Shai.
Sure.
Okay, so going back to e-commerce 360, the whole Negev Prime initiative is actually based on the e-commerce 360 program. The e-commerce 360 program is a practical training, a 6-month training that it teaches everything you need to know in order to become a successful e-commerce entrepreneur. We teach product development, we teach advertising, which is a very, very important aspect of the whole online business field. We teach, of course, issues like IP and other legal issues, but most importantly, within this training, we provide of many hours of mentorship to our entrepreneurs to give them all the knowledge they need and all the help they need to actually open the business while in the training. We, of course, realize that not everyone is equipped to be or fit to be an online entrepreneur, so we search for the most qualified, talented, most ambitious people of the Negev to become those kind of entrepreneurs and succeed. So as I said, we have already started and we have an established team we have formed around the program. We have also surrounded ourselves with a vast network of entrepreneurs and businesses and offices, of course, BGU people and lecturers to help and provide other aspects for the training. And we have started with the first pilot of a cohort of 15 participants a few months ago. So this is the team, and the heart of the whole program is actually based on the two people in the lower left corner of the screen, Yuval and Itamar. They are two outstanding individuals, among the most successful Amazon sellers in the whole world, actually. And as successful as they are, they usually, those kind of entrepreneurs usually wouldn't share their knowledge with other people. They're gonna keep it to themselves. But they are also BGU alumni, and they have agreed to give back and to lead the training and to help the participants of the training to become as successful as they are. They have also brought Tal Tomer, our mentor, also a successful seller, that is mentoring the students 24/7 in the most tight manner there is. Joining our team will be, of course, Shai that is with us today. She's gonna help lead the expansion of the program to the whole Negev, which is a challenge, of course. We also have a very active advisory board. As evidence, you have them here on the Zoom meeting. We have Chana Rado, and we have Professor Carmel Sofer, which I introduced to you, which is the chairman of Yazamut 360, but also with 25 years of experience in the industry. Dana Gavish, that you know, which is head of Yazamut 360. And we also have Sharon Fisher. She's an experienced specialist in selection processes, and she's guiding us through the whole process of selection and helping us select the most suitable entrepreneurs to the program. Okay, so we launched the program a few months ago. We have opened registration in last September. We knew because of the employment situation in Israel that a lot of people are going to apply to the program, but even we never dreamed that almost 300 people would apply to the program just in 1 week. So there's very high demand for the field here in the Negev. And of course, after a screening process, we were able to get 15 future merchants to the program. I'm very happy to say that 40% of those participants are women entrepreneurs. And when you get 50 participants to the program e-commerce 360, eventually what you have is 50 new businesses opening and operating from the Negev region. This is the meaning of accepting 15 participants to the program. And we are very happy to see those businesses built right these days. And actually, this is how it looks like. We have gathered some pictures for you guys. You can see the lectures, as well as some sessions where the students themselves teach each other and supply each other with further help in opening their business. And this is a revolutionary idea in the field of e-commerce, because usually as individuals, you wouldn't share knowledge, so you wouldn't get knowledge from other people. But here they are raised as a community, and this is the basis of the community of e-commerce in the Negev. And we actually have gathered some testimonials from the participants themselves. I hope you can hear this well.
אחת ההחלטות הטובות שקיבלתי השנה. מרגיש לי כמו משפחה.
אני מהמרכז ומרגיש לי שפה זה פשוט אווירה שהיא שונה.
I think this program is very demandable because from one side the mentors are giving you a lot of ways how to express yourself and you have a lot of open door. But from the other side, they are looking for perfection because we need to find our product, the best one, that will be super from 100% from every aspect.
בגדול המטרה העיקרית שלי זה לקדם לעצמי איזשהו סגנון חיים שאני שולטת בלו"ז שלי, שאין מעליי איזשהו בוס.
החזון מבחינתי זה לקחת את הדבר הזה הלאה, זה להקים גם חנויות לעצמי, גם אולי לתת איזה שירותים לעסקים נוספים בנגב.
I wasn't surprised about who was with me. You can see that the people are very talented, serious and determined to achieve it. The manpower we have here is very, I think, very incredible.
ניסיתי כל מיני דברים בתחום, אבל כאילו כל הזמן הייתי איכשהו לבד. הייתי מאוד כועס שאין באוניברסיטה מסגרת כזו, ועכשיו הנה, כאילו יש לנו מסגרת כזו. תוכנית הביאה לי את הדרך.
Okay, how do we stop that? Okay, moving forward, yeah, as you know, we are very lucky to have a very supporting environment around the program. We have financial organizations and government offices, and we have local business centers supporting us, and of course, Ben-Gurion University to assist where they can. And I especially would like to mention the biggest bank in Israel, Bank Hapoalim, which is our main sponsors, and they had believed in us since day one, and gave us the funds, allowing us to launch e-commerce 360 pilot cohort. And not only that, they have also assigned the business branch in Be'er Sheva to be the home of the entrepreneurs, to provide them low interest loans to start their business, and also many other benefits to have a very smooth start in their business and to run their, of course, their accounts. And so far about e-commerce 360. Now let's talk about Negev Prime. A pilot cohort of 15 participants is a great start, and we are very happy to see it succeeding and the businesses are opening. But now, with the help of course, of Negev 19, we want to grow and reach hundreds. And this is now our goal with Negev Prime. We know it's possible because of e-commerce 360. And of course, the time is now because of COVID-19. This pandemic has locked a lot of us indoors and closed many businesses, but it also opened a window for the Negev region. The time is now for entrepreneurs of the Negev to stay in the Negev and to be able to provide for themselves in the Negev without having to leave and sell to the whole world. This is a meaningful thing because 20 years ago, if someone in Israel wanted to open a business and sell to Americans, he had to relocate his entire life to America. But now he can do so in the comfort of his house. He can stay in his beloved home in the Negev and sell to the whole world. Of course,
let's go to the budget because we want to leave some time for questions.
Okay, you want to go to the tables of the budget?
Yes.
Can I just touch the ecosystem we're building in a few words?
Yeah, do it and then the budget, please.
We vision an ecosystem around e-commerce in the Negev, a whole new thing. In the core of it, we're going to have tens of entrepreneurs we're going to train each year. They're going to provide for their families who's going to be able to stay in the Negev. They're going to, of course, eventually employ more employees in the Negev. They're going to provide work for service providers such as graphic designers, advertisers, photographers, and so on. And of course, we're going to also support the local community through what we call wizards. They are going to scout the Negev arena and sell Negev products in online shops on Amazon. So this is the ecosystem. Now for the budget. Of course, we're asking for a generous support of $150,000 from the fund. We have already invested $112,000 ourselves, and we have secured from our sponsors additional $33,000 annually. This sums up to a total of almost $300,000 that will allow us to conduct 2 cohorts annually of Negev Prime. And your contribution, your generous contribution, will be used mainly for instructors and talent, mentors and lecturers, but also for operations and marketing, and also for tools and content, which means we're going to provide our participants, our entrepreneurs, with the best and most advanced tools and softwares to allow them to analyze Amazon and choose the perfect product to sell to the whole world. So as I said, it's a total of $150,000 annually, but it's $75,000 per 1 cohort. All right, let's go to the budget. But of course, what we're doing here is inviting you to help us make our dream come true. Okay, so as I said, most of the funds will be for manpower, for supporting staff and mentors, of course, for the professional leaders, and some of it will be used for marketing. As you can see, our board of directors is non-salary. We've talked about contact acquisition and software and some marketing, of course. And I guess that's it.
Oh, we can't talk, I'm on a Zoom.
Thank you all. Let's take some questions.
Sure.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Based on your business model and the fact, obviously, that we would only be funding for a couple of years, I guess, or some shorter period. How do you expect to sustain this? Do you get a percentage, maybe, of the successful businesses each year, or where do you get your continued revenue from?
That's a great question. Actually, we don't have a business model in that sense, that we're not going to take profits from the entrepreneurs. We're going to profit from them being individuals who can provide for themselves. But we do have, first and foremost, BGU funds in the core of the whole thing, and they're going to keep supporting the program along the years. We also very happy to have our sponsors, Bank Hapoalim and Yalin Lapidot, which gave us some funds to conduct the cohorts, the pilot cohorts, but also they are very satisfied together with us with the success of this program, and they're gonna keep providing funds along the years. And in general, we are very happy that the program is getting a lot of attention from many organizations, and we're gonna keep looking for sponsors along the years. Yes, Gordon.
First of all, what kind of businesses are these cohorts picking up, the 15? What type of businesses?
So as I said, there are third-party merchants, but they are what called in the e-commerce field private label sellers. The process
So what are
they're
they
going
selling?
through, they are actually they divide the beginning of the training to market research, and all they do is find the perfect product that needs to be sold on Amazon. After they find it, they manufacture it through manufacturers in Asia. It could be any product. It could be a yoga mattress for that matter, or a blender. It depends on the needs of the market. So each of them in this point had found the perfect product. One of them, for example, is selling a kit for bartending at home. This is a very nice kit, and this is a private label kit. So they manufacture it, for example, in China, and the Chinese are building their product within their brand, their own brand, and then they sell their own brand on Amazon. This is how we train them.
Or thank you for the presentation. Could you clarify for me? So you had 15 businesses in the first cohort. You introduced us to 2 instructors, 1 mentor. So if you're going to scale this to hundreds, like in the next cohort, how many people do you expect? How will you have to expand the number of instructors, mentors, etc., so that it economically is feasible and that you're scaling, to such a large extent so quickly? And could you just also add what percentage of the businesses and these people will be from outside of Ben Gurion University?
Yeah, great question. Actually, the cohort of 15 was actually a test case. This is a proof of concept for us. We wanted to see that we can train as much as 15 entrepreneurs in the same cohort. And now we know that we can train many more. So in the next expanded cohort, we're going to train 50 participants. And of course, the main challenge is getting the talent, of course, getting more qualified mentors. A lot of the training in the market today, they have been conducted by people who never even succeeded themselves in Amazon. So we're going to bring, through the network of Itamar and Yuval, our professional leaders, we're going to bring more successful entrepreneurs to be mentors in the program. And this is what we need in order to expand it to actually 50 participants each cohort. We're going to have 50 participants. And I guess it's going to be
50 or
50, yeah, 50.
Thank you.
It's going to be 60% people of the Negev and maybe 40% people of the university. That, by the way, most of them are also people of the Negev, and all of them we expect are going to stay in the Negev and operate their business from the Negev.
A 1-year program?
Sorry?
A 1-year program?
This is a 6-month program.
6 months.
Do you know how successful the 15 people that are on Amazon have been?
Oh, I'm talking to them every day, believe me. Yeah, we thought that some of them would not end up with a shop, but we are very happy to see that as for now, all of them had found a product and all of them are going to open their shops. Whether they're going to be successful throughout the next 2-3 years, we think so, we hope so, but time will tell,
Is there any thought of trying to promote products from the Negev?
Yes, there is. Actually, I didn't get to that because I went straight to the budget, but we realized that there are a lot of entrepreneurs and manufacturers and business owners that are from the Negev, but they lack some basic skills as much as, speaking English to open their Amazon shop. Some of them even lack the time. So in addition to the entrepreneurs, the private label sellers, we're going to also train what we call Amazon wizards, but these are actually specialists that are going to scout with the help of the Negev 19 database that are Negev businesses, and they're gonna know how to identify products from the Negev that are fit to be sold online on Amazon. And eventually we're gonna open a lot of Negev shops on Amazon, we hope, and also support the local business communities through that as well. This is part of the ecosystem.
Have you thought about the issues of the VAT tax going back and forth with other countries and how to process this? Because now I think it's difficult for us on the outside to try to purchase currently from Amazon from an Israeli vendor or from a current vendor in the US and
I hope we thought about everything actually, but specifically to your question, there's no problem to shop from Israel or from the US on Amazon from any type of merchant. And actually, when you buy online on Amazon, most of the customers have no idea whether they buy from Amazon itself or buy from the 60% private label merchants, and they have no idea where those merchants are located. So right now in Israel, there are between 100 and 500 private label sellers active from Israel, selling to the US market and to the whole world.
Any more questions?
Yeah, I have a question. With regards to the database that you have of the Negev businesses, are you sharing that information with other municipalities and regional councils to so that their interest in helping the local business communities could share this information rather than having them start up their own database? Are you willing to do that? Have you thought of that? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think this is a question for Hannah and Shai.
Yeah, thank you. Shai. So Negev 19 is in touch with all the authorities in the area. Different authorities have different levels of business community. That some have nothing, some have amazing business clubs and mentors and support. We know everyone here, and we are communicating every day. Negev Market is actually a joint venture of all of the Western Negev cluster. So everything is, we are in touch with them every day, yes.
Thank you.
Normally, I just want to add that the Negev Chaisla is holding the community of most of all the small and medium businesses around the Western Negev. And we gave them a small grant during COVID to create this community of which called Negev Market.
Okay.
Given that the nature of these businesses are so fluid and mobile in today's world, has there been any consideration of a commitment to stay within the Negev for a certain period of time once they've gone through your program?
That's a wonderful question, because we initially seek in this program people with strong affiliation to the Negev, people who actually wants to stay here. And this is the whole thing. This is the whole issue. People want to stay in the Negev. They fall in love with the Negev. This is their home, and this is where their family is. So what's left for them is to find a way to provide for themselves. And actually, the Negev is a perfect place to run an online business from, because we have low costs of living and other kind of benefits. And so there's really no need for any more incentives in terms of people already are getting into this training in order to stay in the Negev and provide for themselves.
But could you be a magnet to attract people to come to your program and come to the Negev rather than just keeping those who are here?
Of course, and we see it as evidence in e-commerce 360. Lots of students came from different parts of Israel. They weren't planning on staying in the Negev, but now because they have the e-commerce community and they're starting their business, they're gonna actually stay here for many years.
Great, thank you.
So if we don't have any more questions, we already have the next presentation with us. So thank you all. Thank you, Dana.
Thank you so much. We would love your help in making our dream come true and taking the Negev to the next step. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Carmel and Hannah. Thank you.
Thank you and goodbye.
Have a great day. So we right about to start our next presentation, but before that, I just want to say something. All of the 3 presentations that we're going to see today is actually a product of that Zoom call that we talked about different, like you guys remember, we had 14 initiatives concerning small and medium businesses. We got them all together, all the 14 initiatives, try to make them work together. Hannah did not know or before this Zoom meeting, they got introduced to each other in this meeting. She called him the day after this meeting. She invited him to Ofakim to see the Negev Chaisre, which is in Ofakim. He went there with Dana, and this whole idea came out. This whole corporation came out of this meeting, and Or sent us this application. He was applying this application for the last 2 years, and we said no, the last 2 years. And now, because he created this cooperation with Hannah for the benefit of all the resilience of the Negev and not only the students in Ben-Gurion University, that's why we're actually considering this application this time. So we already have with us Debbie, which I can see you. Can you please open the camera? Debbie from Atid Bamidbar. Hi, Debbie. And we have Dr. Shachar Shiloh, and we have Mr. Sultan Abu Abaid from Shatil, and Ezri Kedar from Keshet, which I believe some of you remember Ezri. We met him 2 years ago at the Yanabia offices. Maybe some of you remember him. So, yes, it was with the initiative of the 2 young ladies who wanted to create playgrounds at the unrecognized villages.
Yep.
So it was a cooperation between Keshet Association, which Ezri is the CEO of this association. And okay, so Debbie, who is first? Sultan, I believe Sultan is opening the presentation, right?
Actually, I think Shachar will open, giving a wider perspective, and then Sultan, and then I will continue.
Okay, so you are going to share the presentation by yourself. Go ahead, good luck.
Here we are.
Debbie, should I be starting?
Shachar, bevakasha. Please go ahead. Yes.
Well,
please.
thank you very much. I'll be speaking, if I may, as a consultant to the Ministry of Tourism regarding development of tourism in the Negev. And if I can consider myself as a professional witness in this, as I'm holding the position of the director of the Friendly Negev Desert Tourism Association, and as someone who's been working along with our Bedouin friends for a long time, both as a researcher and as someone who gives a lot of seminars to tour guides and scholars all around the Negev with the Bedouins as well. So if I may address this issue from an economical point of view, let me just say this. This is amazing what happens when we are talking about small businesses working and operating in the Negev Highlands, because if you are trying to understand the average income in the tourism business is not really that big. But when we're talking about private businesses, private establishments, especially in the Bedouin villages, we are talking about a multiplying factor, which is 10 times higher sometimes than what you can make as a tenant, as a hired worker, as an employee. And therefore, whenever considering development within the Bedouin, in habitations along road number 40, which we work a lot with, everything we do there is blossoming from the economic point of view, meaning it has a great importance to us. We are working along with approximately 400 business establishments. Some of them are hotels, others could be yoga teachers, catering, bed and breakfasts or jeep safaris, it doesn't matter, huge amounts of attractions, food, and of course, accommodation. The Bedouins are extremely important to the essence of the hospitality. Sorry, it's okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm about to be done in about 60 seconds, friend. Just one more minute. The Bedouin tourism is actually the essence of what we call hospitality. It derives from the biblical times, from Abraham, who is the forefather of both the Muslim Bedouins and the Jewish people. And it is inhabited in the Negev. I would say it has been absorbed within the Bedouin population, and it gives us an amazing product, which is going to be a unique and strong product towards incoming tourism. Whenever we have incoming tourism coming back to Israel, this will surely blossom as it did before. The only thing is it will be more developed, because until right now, everything was scattered and was, one establishment here, one there. Here we have Atid Bamidbar along with Keshet to work it upon, from supervising and managing it all as one large business, which is spread along all the routes of the Negev. So from my economical point of view, as a director, as someone who's been a CEO for a long time in business establishments, both with the Ministry of Tourism and in the Negev, I highly support that. And we are supporting it both with our money as well from the municipalities. Thank you very much, friends.
Thank you, Shachar. Sultan, bevakasha, please.
Hello, everybody. I am Sultan Abu Ubaid. I am the director of Shatil in Beersheba, and I am a resident of Lafia village in the Negev. I am excited and feel great respect and honor to speak to you. And I'd like to thank you for this opportunity to present our project to you. I want to tell you that I spent the majority of my life working with the Negev population, Arabs and Jewish. So NGOs organizations, and mainly with the Bedouin community. I have been at Shatil for 16 years. And as you may know, Shatil main mission is to promote an equal, democratic, and shared society in Israel. So the project that we are presenting to you here will be part of the Neighbors Network, the Good Neighbors Network. For us, the Good Neighbors Network is a joint shared society program, which Shatil and Atid Bamidbar initiated in a cooperation with other organizations like the Regional Council for the Unrecognized Villages and the Negev Coexistence Forum, Keshet, and Good Neighbors groups in Yerucham, Rachame, and Arad, and all the area. Since the beginning of this program, 1917, the Good Neighbors Network has paired 15 Jewish and Bedouin communities to work on a shared project and goals, including advancing Bedouin tourism. Shatil has trained, guided, and empowerment Negev Bedouin communities for something like more than 3 decades. We have many connections in the Bedouin villages and communities. We have a deep familiarity and long experience working with them, and we want to bring this experience to the project that we are presenting now. We will also bring our experience in what we call local sustainable economic development that Shatil developed during the years to this project. The meaning of local sustainable economic is the use and development of exciting resources for the benefit of the whole population. tourism based on a Bedouin tradition is becoming more and more popular, and we at Jatil have worked empowered Bedouin tourism נקרא לזה יוזמים, Bedouin tourism entrepreneurs. In fact, we began the Bedouin tourism providers forum with the Negev Development Authority more than 10 years ago. Some of them maybe will be part of this project. And I want to add something personal. Beyond what I have done and what I have seen, I want to tell you that this project has a big potential. It fully deserves the resources that will enable it to happen. Thank you for listening, and hopefully you will support us. Debbie?
Sultan, yes. Thank you, Sultan. תודה רבה, שוכרן. I'm Debbie Golan. I'm the president of Tipa Midbar and a resident of Yerucham for 34 years. And as Sultan noted, we in the 7 organizations of the Negev Good Neighbors Network, we live in the Negev, we work in the Negev, and some of us have been working in Negev tourism for over 2 decades. We could say that all of us, although, have been involved in community building and in Negev development for decades. We have come together.
Switch the slides.
What?
Switch the slides.
Sorry, you're right. There. Can you see beyond? Can you see this well? I'm not going to let you know the slides, but I'm going to sort of relate to them because I assume that you've already read, and I'll just try to take out some of the main points from them. We've come together on this project because we are deeply convinced that the development of Bedouin tourism can contribute to Negev development in a major way, economically and socially. And we are committed to working on it. And we are committed to making it happen. We hope that your partnership with us will propel us to success even more exponentially. What is our project? Israel has many levels of government, as you know, national, regional, local, and institutions. Most of the time, they don't really coordinate with each other. And our project uniquely has found a way to take representatives of government ministries and organizations, Negev clusters, wide regional organizations, municipalities, regional and local municipal tourism associations, grassroots NGOs, and individual tourism entrepreneurs to come together around the same table in order to promote Bedouin tourism. Extraordinary kind of intersectorial collaboration that has not existed before, ever. Our project works, however, not only on the macro administrative bureaucratic level, but on the micro level, developing the capacities of individual Bedouin women and men to host visitors, guide workshops, offer meals, lead tours, and more, building their language, business, and marketing skills, and generating income. These activities also enrich what local and regional tourism associations and businesses can offer visitors and abroad. It will draw more people to spend longer time in the Negev, to leave more money here, and to contribute to Negev prosperity. Thus, our project works in 2 directions, top down and bottom up. Top down by creating the mechanisms for intersectorial collaboration on the regional level by a roundtable that will not only decide on policy, but allocate funding. And bottom up from the grassroots level of Jews and Bedouin working together who are experienced in tourism to find and grow what we call BTEs, individual Bedouin tourism entrepreneurs, and then incorporate their products, workshops, meals, tours, etc., in local, regional, and national tourism campaigns and packages, what Shachar mentioned as the Friendly Negev Desert brand. thus leveraging collaboration with municipal and regional tourism associations and professionals, Jews and Bedouin in the Negev. In fact, all of these elements are actually based on close collaboration between Negev Jews and Negev Bedouin. Beyond its economic impact, our project will promote positive relationships between Bedouin and Jews in the Negev, and this is crucial for the Negev's future. But this is not only what makes our project unique. We are developing the foundation for ongoing income generation, not a one-time, one-year project, but as a result of the intersectorial and intergovernmental collaborations, this will lead to long-term economic stability and sustainability. By the end of the first year, we will have a strategic business and marketing plan in place. We'll have mapped potential BTEs and their needs, the potential resources that are needed to carry this off, and we'll have begun the implementation of training and infrastructure provision that are necessary for visitors. You would think that because of COVID's killing of tourism, its impact on tourism, the project has to wait until things get better. We believe the opposite. This period is actually ideal to plan in the best way how we can ensure success, how we can develop the human, organizational, and physical infrastructures to host the mass, hopefully mass, of incoming tourists that we expect in 2022. In fact, hopefully you will be on the first planes to Israel and we can show you what we have accomplished. Meanwhile, we will be serving Israeli tourists. I can tell you they are hungry for places to visit and things to do after the lockdowns, and especially activities in the open air and in small groups. We've already begun to work on these things with the resources that we have at present. Ativa Midbar and Keshet, as experienced tourism NGOs in collaboration with others, will provide the marketing, customer relation management, and accounting and bureaucratic wraparound to these individual BTEs, enabling them, after we train and mentor them, to begin to host visitors already at the end, by the end of the first year. I want to show you how far we have progressed. This is a screenshot of the new website that Keshet produced. This will be your shopping cart here, and you can, this will be your shopping cart, and you can you can mark down what you want to order, whether it's a meal or a workshop, how many people you'll be, when you want to come. You press the button, we send you a price quote, and we begin to arrange the visit for you. We believe that we are at a critical intersection, a critical time period. We feel we've put together all the pieces, the national level, the regional level, the local level. We have cooperation with the authorities, with local authorities, and we have connections with the people who want to be on this project with us, want to be part of it. I'm going to make a somewhat controversial statement. We're going to do this project in one way or another. But the one way with the Ness Fund is going to be a game changer. With your support, we won't have to beg or borrow. We won't have to shortcut. We're going to be able to do this in the right way. We're going to be able to do what we plan in the highest standard possible. This is a major project, and your full support will enable it to be funded as a major project should be funded. In the context of funding sources, we are at the point where government has decided to fund and invest significant amounts of money in Bedouin society development over the next 5 years. And Bedouin tourism will be part of that, that 5-year plan. The bad news, of course, in the short run is that there is no approved government budget to date. The good news, however, is that the unused budgets from 2020 for Bedouin and per se are being carried over to 2021. And we're talking about more than $400,000. However, this $400,000 is not available to us to cover what we are asking from you. We need your help to cover essential elements that we cannot get from elsewhere. The basis for this project, like any project, is the human resource run it that make it happen. We need a good, strong, capable staff who are going to map, train, and mentor the BTEs, organize and plan communally, facilitate the regional collaboration mechanisms. And so more than half of the money, 73% to be exact, is going to key staff. But these are not people that we have to look for. These are people who are already on board, experienced, involved people. And we can enable them with your help to work more than they are currently working, to implement the plans that in a part-time way they have put together. We need other components also to make our project attain the highest quality and standards. We need portable toilets for visitors. We need signage in different languages. We need furniture to enable groups and visitors to feel comfortable while they enjoy Bedouin hospitality. We want to make sure we have adequate funding for extra accounting services and CRM and marketing services. We want to make sure, again, that we can do everything at the highest level. And this is very important. Again, we are planning for this to be a sustainable project. This is an income generating project. It's not a welfare project. It's not, it's an economic development project that is designed to be cross-cultural, cross-sector, bottom-up, top-down, and sustainable. At the end of the first year, the BTEs will be having income for them and their families. Within 3 years, the project will be covering its expenses, and within 5 years, it will be turning a profit and enable us to invest in training and mentoring more BTEs around the Negev. Some of the BTEs will become small businesses, as was mentioned before. Some will continue to work via our NGOs. From our experience over the past 20 years working with Bedouin tourism providers, but all will continue to host visitors, all will continue to generate income, and all will contribute to local sustainable economic development in the Negev. In sum, all 7 organizations in the Good Neighbors Network and other local, regional, and national organizations are on board with us to help us make this happen. With Ness Fund help, we can clinch our regional collaboration mechanisms and also implement the long-term grassroots training and development of BTEs, of Bedouin tourism entrepreneurs. This is a strategic project for the Negev. It targets the weakest population in the Negev, and it brings together Jews and Bedouin on the grassroots and the highest levels to work together to attract visitors, to improve the Negev image in Israel and abroad, and to improve the economic situation of Negev residents. We hope you decide to be your partners in this exciting and tremendously potential project with tremendous potential. I'm sorry, I'm excited too. Thank you. Please, you have questions about anything, we're here.
Thank you, Debbie. Let's take some questions. Debbie, you can stop share the screen.
Yes, I am. That's exactly. I'm looking for the button. Here we are.
Yeah, Gordon, go ahead.
Just a quick question. Define the term Negev Highlands. I've never heard that before.
The mountainous regions of the area around Mitzpe Ramon and even a little part of our Yerucham's area, they're quite high, 500 to 700 meters above sea level. So they're called the Negev Highlands.
So does it cover from Arad to Mitzpe?
In the first year, we're talking about, this is where our colleagues in the Good Neighbors Network are located, the Arad area, Route 31, and all the way down to Route 40, Mitzpe Ramon, and the Bedouin settlements, unrecognized villages that are even south of Mitzpe Ramon. We have the collaboration with the Western Negev cluster as well, and our initial approach is one of seeing the Negev as a whole and the interactions between Bedouin tourism in the recognized towns, in the unrecognized villages, and in the villages that have been recognized but are still, in terms of infrastructures, in need of help and investment.
Thank you.
Your initial customers, you indicated, would basically be Israelis. Do you have any numbers as to how many tourists you will have to have in order for you to be a viable organization?
Shachar, maybe you can help us. I can give you information about Atid Bamidbar in 2019. Atid Bamidbar alone brought nearly 20,000 people to Yerucham and Rachma, and generated about $300,000 in income for the community through the community-based tourism. Yerucham, since the lockdowns have ended, have taken in thousands of tourists, and this is something that we see all over the Negev Highlands area. Shachar, perhaps you can help with more of the figures because you really have the regional, I think, data at your fingertips.
But I'm looking for, what are your goals that you feel would make it an economically viable program?
I can elaborate on that, Debbie, if you may.
Okay.
I'm Ezri from, I'm the CEO of Keshet NGO in Mitzpe Ramon. We are acting in the geographical territory of the Negev Highlands. That's between Ben Gurion College and Mitzpe Ramon. We have in this area 5 Bedouin communities. And according to our business plan, in the 4th year of this initiation that you saw the illustration of the website, we expect to reach about 10,000 visitors a year. This amount of visitors will make the project, our local project, sustainable. So it won't need any philanthropic support by the 4th year of action. I can tell you that we are going to address not only tourists from abroad, out of Israel, or Jewish visitors, but we are going to address the Arabic sector as well, because actually what we are suggesting is some kind of a living museum to the heritage of the Bedouins. By the way, in Rahat, you have about 20,000 kids in schools that already disattach from their heritage. And this will be a chance for them to experience their origins. So we have huge audience coming in. I can tell you that the Bad Echad, the officers training basis near Mitzpe Ramon, I'm in touch with the education personnel there. They are already asking, where are you on air? We want to bring in not only the staff that training the officers, but the cadets. And we're talking here about 5,000 cadets a year going through this officers school that they want to bring them into the project to experience and meet this population. So if we're looking on what we can bring in terms of visitors, it's unmanageable. We're talking about dozens of thousands of visitors per year. It should go along with recruiting more and more Bedouins, service provider, tourism. Excuse me? We're going step by step. On the one hand, we're marketing ourselves to major audiences. On the other hand, we are recruiting and giving professional training more and more Bedouin tourism service providers. So I'm very optimistic about this project, and I believe we can, in the 4th year, will be fully sustainable.
I'd like to add that the Israeli tourism currently reflects world trends of a move to what's called FIT, family and individual tourism. And Bedouin tourism is essentially perfectly adapted for that kind of tourism. Another large group that has begun coming to Yerucham over the past few weeks, just after lockdowns were opened up, is retirees, pensioners. And this is something that is organized. In other words, there's organized, and what Ezri was talking about, Army, cadets and officers, which also come to our area in the hundreds, if not thousands a year in a regular year. This is organized tourism. Another element of organized tourism that may take a little more time to get off, but in the past also has come to us, and the meetings with Bedouin tourism providers in Rahma has been very life-changing for them. That's schools and youth movements. And so there's organized tourism of pensioners or retirees, IDF, and schools. And there's FIT, small family and individual tourists, that also we are adapted for hosting. And this is I can tell you that we're talking about numbers. Also, we also hosted with Salima and other people, other Bedouin for BTEs in Rahma, 10,000 people a year with on a regular year. And we see that the demand is starting to reawaken. So this was Sanford, right, who asked me the question. We can also look up for more economic data and send it to you if you would like. But I think Esri answered the basic question. It's income generating. We see people coming, Israelis coming, and Jews and Arabs, Israelis coming, and we're convinced that we're going to be a sustainable project within 4 to 5 years.
Shachar, you wanted to say? Yeah, Rini, go ahead.
I have a question. Do you have any other philanthropic groups that are supporting this effort?
The Good Neighbors Network has been supported to date by the Levi Lassen Foundation in Belgium, and that's interested more in shared society projects. But since this tourism development is something that we're doing together, also we're submitting to them renewal specifically for Bedouin tourism activity, which is built on Jewish Bedouin collaboration. And what's called the ICEJ, the International Christian Embassy in Jerusalem, is also a supporter of the projects of the Good Neighbors Network. And we hope to see them on board too. We have them on board for our basic infrastructures of the Good Neighbors Network in our projects, that also they're interested in things that promote shared society values and reduce hostility and alienation.
Do you have any others you're looking toward for this project?
We've applied and been in touch with 2 other German foundations, Adenauer and Böll, BOEHL, and we're constantly on the outlook. But we also have verbal promises from the Negev clusters for those funds that were unused in 2020 to be used for development, basically training and marketing expenses, less for infrastructures and not for our staff that are going to be from the government budgets for developing Bedouin tourism in the Negev. Is that clear, Renee?
Thank you. Thank you.
I have a question. In the literature that we received, it says that one of your goals after 5 years is to have about 20 tourism entrepreneurs registered as independent to be registered as independent small businesses. Can you explain the term registered independent small businesses? What exactly is that?
What we've seen is that most Bedouin tourism entrepreneurs are, how can I say, there are a few professionals, several hundred maybe, who are involved in tourism in one way or another, but a lot of people are not. And they have to be handheld and helped through the process of becoming a tourism provider. But what we mean by this is what's called, it's a of tax, of the government tax services, that they're a registered small business. They get they don't have to pay any taxes up to a certain level of income. And this is an appropriate, less obligatory, less bureaucratic place to be in for people who are not so experienced with, they're not going to be big businessmen and run branches and things like that. I don't know if I made myself clear enough, because my English broke down while I was trying to answer.
I got it.
Okay.
Shahar, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, please, just a quick note. I need to make sure you all understand, my friends, that actually your contribution is being summed up and added to a huge contribution, which we're on the, I would say, the cutting edge of it right now with the Ministry of Tourism. The Ministry of Tourism, for the last 2.5 years, has launched a new brand in Israel, which only have so far 4 brands on the shelf of the tourism products. The Negev Desert, or what we call the friendly Negev Desert, is going to be the 5th product on the Israeli shelf towards incoming tourism. The Bedouins plays a key role in this. So you need to understand that every contribution the Ness Foundation is going to make will be summed up with big money that is being invested by the Ministry of Tourism in the infrastructure of building tourism establishments and tourism marketing. And we're talking tens of millions of shekels, which will be actually given in the next few years, mainly for marketing and build big projects of infrastructure. So, but they don't do that in the Bedouin villages. They just give like an umbrella marketing, which is going to be huge. But again, if we don't take care of the Bedouin establishments, we may have a big problem. They'll stay way behind.
And so about that, I have a question, Shahar and Debbie. The Ministry of Agriculture had started a new program for not just for the Bedouin community in general, investing money in the Bedouin community, but specifically in Bedouin tourism. And nowadays they are starting this program. And I wonder how much you guys are familiar with this huge program of specifically Bedouin tourism, and how do you fit this project with the Ministry of Agriculture plans?
We know very well. We're working with Shai Dotan, and we're in close touch with the people who are leading Ruben from the Eastern Negev cluster and Uri Pinto from the Western Negev cluster, who have taken on basically and signed a contract with the Ministry of Agriculture to get the funding for developing Bedouin tourism. And the roundtable that we talked about is basically a roundtable with those people on it to add it, as well as the grassroots organization. So what we're talking about is having the Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Tourism, Rayan, which is a training company, sub-government training company of the Ministry of Labor, and Ma'of, which is economic development advising. All of these are excited about our project and are going to be at this roundtable where maybe for the first time we're going to have grassroots input to policies that are made on the regional level with input and funding from the national government offices.
Okay, thank you.
On a day-to-day level, almost. Seriously. Anything?
Do we have
Howard has a question.
Yeah, I'd like to clarify a couple of things. In the literature we got, it said that there were 8,000 to 9,000 visits per year and that your goal would be to 30,000. So if I could ask in terms of what was the most limiting factor, was it marketing, business know-how, infrastructure, and along those lines, we do not fund infrastructure, of which in the budget you gave us $10,000 of which would go to purely that. So that's not in our purview. And if there are 150 BTEs and you're going to work on 50 and they just haven't been efficient, rather than trying to grow the number, has anyone looked at the possibility of consolidating them and, you know, making them more efficient so that you can bring more people along those, you know, to the Negev?
I understand your question. It's a good question. What we see, and we work closely in Ativa Midbar with mainly 5, but also some other Bedouin tourism providers, BTEs, 2 of whom are already registered, small businesses. There's a big gap between, it's not a question of inefficiency. There's a big cultural gap, there's a social gap, there's a gap in access to marketing platforms, there's a gap in business thinking. There's a process that we feel that the BTEs have to do. We want to accompany them on this process because we believe in the potential. We believe that they have the authentic knowledge of their heritage that is a precious tourism product, and that this is something that we can help them get out there. This is why Ativa Mivar and Keshet are providing the accounting services, the CRM, arranging the visits and paying the people and collecting payment from the visitors, or the BTEs at the initial stages, until this is something they begin to understand. We also very much hope, Sultan mentioned the Bedouin Tourism Providers Forum of the Negev, that he was one of the founders of with the Negev Development Authority. And that's something that we feel really has to be in place, because the Bedouin society is so divided tribally, especially in the older generation. This is and geographically, the geographic spread. I'm not sure, maybe I didn't understand what you meant by consolidate, but what we see that as a platform for collaboration is the marketing platforms via the regional and local tourism associations, and that the Bedouin individual tourism providers don't really necessarily have access to, and also the national program of the Friendly Negev Desert that Shahar spoke about. I'd like, and I see that our time is almost up, and I feel maybe I didn't do justice to explaining. Perhaps I can write you something that gives more of a, Odelia, I think you understand what we mean, that the people we're talking about are the poorest and yet maybe the most authentic inheritors of Bedouin tradition, and they need a process of personal mentoring and identifying what their needs are, whether it's improving their Hebrew language facility or teaching them English or helping them to learn how to present the skills that they are expert at, but that they don't know how to teach others. And that kind of thing can be an incredible experience for visitors, but it has to be preceded by a process of training and mentoring. That's the grassroots component of what we want to ask for. Yes, there are infrastructure issues like toilets that are critical, and access roads, but this is something that we feel we can have, and furniture and stuff, but this is something that we feel we can deal with, and the core is the training and the mentoring that will develop more and more Bedouin experiences, BTEs, for visitors.
דבי, אני יכול להגיד משהו בעברית, מישהו יתרגם אותי?
כן, I'll try. אוקיי, כן, בטח, סולטן.
לשתי נקודות אני רוצה להתייחס. דבר ראשון, לגבי התוכנית הממשלתית. התוכנית הממשלתית בגדול, הכתובת שלה זה הרשויות המקומיות. ורוב הרשויות המקומיות הבדואיות לא יודעות להתמודד עם הסוגיה של התיירות ולבנות תוכניות מפורטות לעניין שלה.
רגע, תתרגמי, דבי.
כן, okay. Sultan wanted to relate to 2 points. One, it relates to the 5-year government plan. Most of the funding from the 5-year government plan goes to the Bedouin municipalities, the regional councils and municipalities. And very often they are not equipped and they don't know how to utilize those budgets for developing Bedouin tourism. They don't have the expertise, they don't have the experience, they don't have the tools to do that. Okay. And that's the gap.
והתוכנית עלולה להביא הרבה מאוד כסף שישפך ויצא בלי שאף אחד ידע להשתמש בו. הכוונה שלנו, ואני אעשה קצת דימוי, זה בתוך הנהר לפתוח תעלות צדדיות, כך שהמים בעצם לא יזרמו הלאה וילכו, אלא ייכנסו לפינות וישקו את העצים ביד. זה עבודה של חברה אזרחית שלנו.
Sultan says that our fear is that a lot of funding will be poured into the municipalities, but it will go to waste, or it will disappear, or will be returned to the treasury. But what we want to do is, if we use a metaphor of water coming down a river, we will open up ditches or canals. Thank you.
Canals, yeah.
To direct the money to the places where they have to, to the places where they have to go, because we know what those places are, because we're working in the field. He said that's the role of civil society organizations.
Thank you, Debbie. Any more questions? Because we have to finish.
Sultan, רצית להגיד עוד משהו?
בסדר, יש לי הרבה מה להגיד, אבל אני רואה שהזמן שלנו...
אבל זמננו קצר. Time's up. Okay, so thank you very much.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
תודה. שוכרן.
Okay, so do we still have the power to hear the third presentation?
Sure.
Because our friends from Eretz Ir and the Negev Council, we have Johan here and Tamar, which you all familiar from the Wix Women Project in Yerucham, Tamar Gil from Eretz Ir organization. We have here with us Johan Atlan from the Negev Council. We used to fund them for 2 years to establishing the Negev Council at the beginning, and then we continue supported them. And you know already Yuval Stav from the Western Negev Cluster. We met him a few weeks ago with the Sapir presentation. And we have here Leon David from Ramat Negev Municipality. We visited the Ramat Negev Municipality and we actually met the mayor last year, but we never met Leon before. And I think we have with us Dan Kaufman is also with us. And that's it. So Tamar, go ahead, you can start.
So let me just share my presentation with you. Okay, let me just open this for myself. So hi everyone, and I am very, very happy to see everyone here. I do hope that you have some strength for us as well. I will try to be brief and I will try to keep more time for questions and answers rather than us talking. As Odelia said, I am not here alone. This whole request from the Ness Fund is a partnership with the East and West Negev clusters, with the Negev Council and with Sapir Academic College. And therefore, everyone here is here today together. I know that you know all of us partners, but still maybe the specific position or responsibility that each one of us has in this partnership. So the East and West Negev clusters represent together 26 authorities, and among other programs that they're dealing with is economic development. Just over the last year, they have invested about $250,000 into small businesses and have each established a forum to develop the abilities and to encourage collaboration between business coordinators. In this partnership, each cluster has designated a professional to regionally promote small businesses. Today we have with us Leon David, who is from Ramat Negev, but he was the business coordinator designated by the East Negev cluster to develop the Negev Small Business Coalition. And we have Yuval Stav here, Director of Economic Development in the West Negev cluster, but there is also a specific program coordinator from the West Negev cluster. With Sapir Academic College, we see much more than a partner. They are so much more than an academic body. They also run programs to influence economic development in the Gaza envelope in the Western Negev in general. And in this partnership, Sapir College are the ones to conduct the evaluation of the process that will allow us in the long run to make long-lasting change, to establish a body of knowledge for the professionalization of the business coordinator's role. And the Negev cluster, we know so well, indeed in this partnership will focus on strengthening the ability of municipalities to encourage the growth of small and medium businesses. Again, we're looking at the long run, we're looking at long-term change. And also Johan and the council will represent authorities which are not represented in either cluster. They will help with engaging Negev mayors, and they will try to influence municipal, regional, and government policies. And there's me representing Eretz Ir, which has been promoting economic and community development in the Negev since 2006. We've been running regional programs to help develop employment since 2015. But over the last year, we've added programs that focus on small businesses because they employ about 70% of Israel's job market. And so we are now in the process of developing the field within our organizational framework and budget, including new partnerships. So just to get us all on the same page, over the last summer, Eretz Seir has conducted a study that was commissioned by JNF to understand the needs of small businesses in the Negev and in the Galilee. We interviewed 60 professionals, business coordinators, people from the government, people from local authorities, other nonprofits, and there were two main findings. The first is that small businesses are swamped with programs that aim to help them, but they're all the same. They offer the same thing again and again, more training and more training and more training, rather than actual fish, instead of just teaching them how to fish. And in a crisis time like this, we've got to give them specific solutions. The businesses are now skeptical, they're tired, everyone's competing over them. And at the same time, there's also a huge need, which we found in the study, and that is the huge gaps between municipalities in the resources and the abilities of business coordinators. Small, poor authorities have less resources to hire experienced, knowledgeable business developers to help the small businesses. And so we are seeing gaps within the Negev between different communities, even though they can be neighboring towns. And it became clear to us that if we wanted to assist small businesses and to create economic development through this, there is a need to create a collaboration between everyone who is trying to help small businesses, rather than to continue to compete over them with more programs. And also there is a need to improve the standard of services given to the businesses by the municipalities themselves. So we have held over the last 9 months, dozens and dozens of meetings with mayors, with other nonprofits, with government organizations and partners to get them all on board in a regional program to build the capacity of business coordinators. And I have to say that your timing was incredible, and Odelia's timing and help was incredible. Telling the 14 organizations that wanted your support to help small businesses to work together. And so this is exactly what we were saying, and as Adelia is saying, walk the talk. So we are walking the talk, and that is why the Negev Small Business Coalition was formed. So thank you all for nudging us in this direction. The uniqueness of our coalition is that for the first time, organizations from different sectors are working together and pooling resources to answer joint regional problems. And I have to say that the field is very, very ripe for this collaboration. It wasn't hard when Odelia told us to do so, because we are very ready for it. First of all, because we understand that there is a huge need for local sustainable economy, and that has to be developed regionally. But more than that, there's also great trust and also a friendship between the organizations that are presenting today. So this was just a very easy coalition to build. Our goal in simple terms, first, is to build a partnership between the organizations that are focused on small and medium businesses and to help them network, learn, collaborate. The second thing is to provide capacity building and mentoring to business coordinators whose job it is to help small businesses in their own towns. And that way we can make sure that whatever we develop among us in the coalition will be translated down to the field, and that the knowledge will not be held only by us, but rather by the people on the ground who are working with small businesses. And that is why it's so important to us to train business coordinators, to mentor them, to get them to network and to collaborate, and to also lead projects regionally, as I will present in a second. The third goal for us is to establish joint regional programs to assist small businesses. So this can be a joint festival that the vendors in it will be the small businesses who will enjoy from more business, regional campaigns to encourage local purchase and other things. And through this whole project, we are focusing on regional development in a very practical approach that is also on an ongoing basis being monitored by Sapir College in order to, first of all, improve our practices, but also in order to create a replicable model that can then be taken to other fields and other areas in Israel. So far, I have to say we couldn't really stop once we started talking about submitting together, we met again and again, and it just kind of, we were just rolling with it. So we already began our regular meetings. Just this last Thursday was our first steering committee's meeting in which we outlined our shared goals, our shared vision. We've also gotten so far many mayors, many business coordinators to agree to be on board, to be part of the process. And we've been able to continue fundraising. Namely, we've received $15,000 from the UGA Federation of New York towards the capacity building of coordinators, but also we were able to designate some of the funds from JNF for the small business project that we're doing, and from the government, from the Ministry of Economy, towards a regional effort. Again, we're partnering not just among ourselves, but rather we are forming a steering committee with the Ma'of from the Small and Medium Business Administration in the Ministry of Economy. They're the ones who are providing training for small businesses, and they will also give us in-kind support and sit on the steering committee in order to help us understand where the government is at and what kind of support they can give us. And to actually give the mentoring and the training to the business coordinators. We have the Jewish Agencies, Small Business Department on board as well, and other nonprofits, Keren Shemesh, Link 19, Yadim, the Beersheba Development, Economic Development Company, they're all on board. So what are we actually going to do this year? We're going to focus on strengthening the partnership. First of all, building the infrastructure, which will promote one or two regional events, a festival, as I said before, or a campaign that will be joint, start getting us to get used to working together. And we'll also hold a big conference for small business coordinators and organizations working in the field, again, in order to have everyone understand what other programs are already being offered to small businesses and stop offering the same programs instead of joining hands and working together. We will also begin the capacity building for business coordinators through a 10-week course for 20 business coordinators, through individual mentoring for at least 8 business coordinators, and also through advanced training, seminars, webinars, etc. And all this will be supported by Sapir's ongoing study, which Dan Kaufman will present in a second. I would like to stress, this is not a short-term program. We are asking for, I hope, just the first year of support from Ness, but this is a long-term program. We are setting out this year to build the infrastructure for a long-term change in the way that we work in the Negev, and to build a foundation for longer programming for small businesses. So our focus is going to be on bringing the less experienced and knowledgeable coordinators up to speed, professionally speaking, with other more experienced people who are working with small businesses, and then set out for the bigger regional programs that we want to do starting year 2 and on. That will require a lot of work that will be based on trust and the infrastructure that we will create this year. It has to do with reaching understandings as to which programs, pooling resources, putting the egos aside, fundraising for it, carrying them out in partnership. So that is why this year, we need your help to build the infrastructure, the trust, the collaboration, the networking that will allow the actual programs from year 2 and on. And as I said, we will have some smaller programs throughout the year on the field to make us more presented and start working. So I'm going to turn it over for 2 minutes to Dan Kaufman from the Center of Innovation and Entrepreneurship in Sapir to talk about the study and the model that we will write for the business coordinators. And then I will ask Johan to give an overview of the Negev Council's actions to push for policy improvement and the adoption of our best practices into national policy. So stopping the share for 4 minutes.
Okay, so hi everyone. So my name is Dan Kaufman and I'm managing the Entrepreneurship Center in Sapir College, where we have 200 students each year studying and experiencing entrepreneurship and working on their own ideas. Some of them even develop their ideas and turning them into a real startup after they finish studying in Sapir. Our role in this coalition is to conduct a process evaluation of the project And unlike regular evaluations that aim at evaluating the final results of a project, the uniqueness of the process evaluation that we will do here is that it interferes in the project while this is being conducted. So it's kind of ongoing evaluation. We are doing so to maintain an ongoing learning process and build a body of knowledge that can be applied during the course of the project, and therefore can contribute to its implementation itself and not only come at the end of the project. By the end of the project, we will, of course, measure the overall success of the project, and we'll try to understand points of great success and identify weaknesses and bottlenecks. The end results of our evaluation, as Tamar said, is to create a body of knowledge. We call it a toolkit that can be used by anyone who asks to initiate similar activities in the future. Our evaluation here will divide it into two sets of activity. One is the measuring the impact of the training of business coordinators, like the direct aim of this project. And second is to measure the indirect impact of the coalition itself in terms of, for example, identifying common interests and their ability to achieve them as a group, and of course, assessing the direct success in promoting small and business, SMBs, small business size enterprises in the region. So that's all.
Okay, Johan, can you say a few words about the Negev Coalition, the Negev Council's job with us?
Sure. First of all, thank you everybody, and hello to Howard and everybody from the Ness. We think the Ness is, you know, one of the forefathers of the Negev Council, and we're happy to still be here and still do good things together. So thank you very much. As Tamar said, so good. After Tamar, it's difficult to speak English, but I will try my best. I think that it's important to understand that what we are doing here it hasn't been done at all before. You have to understand that before that, it's only the government that took responsibility to develop businesses, small businesses or businesses at all. So the local municipalities didn't really get involved in helping businesses grow. And I think this is the first and most important thing about this program. It takes everybody aboard. First of all, the municipalities that are taking more and more responsibilities, as Tamar already shown, but also getting the government understand how it can do better or have better policies that can help the Negev get or develop more businesses, more small and medium businesses. And this is critical because the Negev was based in its history on industry, and in this industry is big businesses. And the future is already here, and we understand that what we had before is changing. Industries are changing. The employment in the industries are changing. So the Negev that has the most few businesses in comparison to other regions in Israel needs to, you know, get on the train and develop its own business ecosystem. And that is why the local municipalities and the mayors in the Negev think it is so important. And we had a meeting with all the mayors in the Negev Council who decided that this is top priority, especially after the COVID crisis. So what the Negev Council will do is to, you know, to complement the great and the long-term project that Tamar already talked about, with bringing aboard the mayors and the municipalities to have better policies and understand how they can do better to promote SMBs in the Negev. We will do so, for example, by having benchmark research and looking how other municipalities in the world do it. What are the best practices for helping municipalities do better and grow businesses in their own territory? So this is one thing we will do. And the other thing, and we think that the government is also really willing to do better, and so far it hasn't, unfortunately. And we think that our understanding of the regional necessities will help also the government have better policies that can help grow businesses in the area. So these are the two things we do. We bring the leaders of the municipalities, the mayors, on board, helping them see how they can do better with their municipal tools to help businesses, and also have better governmental policies. For example, we can have better, for governmental projects that are being built in the Negev, it's mostly businesses from central Israel who gain the tender, sorry. And so this is one thing that the government can do already now. It doesn't cost money to give a little bit priority to businesses from the Negev for projects being built in the Negev. So this is just a small example. There are plenty of them, and we are only starting to understand how we can do better, and we can. So this is our role here.
Okay, toda rabba, Johan. Guys, I'll show just a couple of more slides. We'll get to the budget in a second. Again, just the timeline is here. I know that you already got it, but the idea is that we wanted to show that the collaborative work is ongoing. It will be happening throughout the year. The steering committee will meet regularly to discuss the needs of business coordinators, which is our way of saying the municipalities, their municipal business coordinators. We will be able to raise needs, hear what they need from the business coordinators forum, which East Negev cluster and West Negev cluster are going to continue to operate. And that way we will be able to give them, pass them the opportunities that we will locate or create for the business coordinators, and also to hear about their continuously changing needs. We have 40 municipalities already on board, wanting with their representatives to network, to train, to collaborate. If you want more information about this, then I know that Leon can help us talk about their needs. I know that you've got these slides. I won't make you even make you listen to me talk about it. I said it before, and I will stress this again. This collaboration is a must, but we have to build an infrastructure first for ongoing, for lasting work. And that needs special resources. And MACNES has been supporting us and so many other organizations in the Negev in developing this infrastructure that will allow us to build our own capacities. And that's what we're asking to do here. We need the support for the extra of the everyday, the above and beyond, to coordinate the forum, to plan, to fundraise for special projects, to carry them out. We have to have individual special personnel, and that is why most of the funding that we are requesting is going towards the people on the ground, coordinating, getting things to happen, rolling the ball. That's the first thing. The second thing is the individual mentoring for the business coordinators, and of course, the study and the evaluation by Sapir. This isn't something that we can do without setting aside time and resources. We do hope that in the coming future, both the regional authorities and the clusters will be able to designate some funding for regional collaboration and for training business coordinators. We think that if this first year will be a good pilot, then they will be more willing to do so also in their yearly annual budget later on. And also we are optimistic. I have to say, the elections are coming up. So you can say a lot of things about the government, but I am optimistic on their desire to improve. And we can see that even if we are looking at Ma'of from the Ministry of Economy, that is becoming part of the steering committee, and that is saying we're going to give you $15,000 in value for training and for coordinating and mentoring the business coordinators. So this is a huge deal, and we do hope that the Ministry of Interior, for example, who established and is funding the clusters, will also be able to put some money aside for this, for example, or the Ministry of Economy, etc. I don't know if you guys want to go over the budget right now, or yes.
You can go through it, Emma.
You
can go over this.
Okay, so the total budget, again, this is the first year budget before programming before a festival that we will do. So this is for building the infrastructure and for starting with the training. We haven't raised all of it yet. We still need about $20,000 to raise. We have a few ideas about where this can come from, but the overall budget is close to $175,000. First of all, there's a 30% project coordinator that Eretz Ir is providing. We are asking Ness to support a little less than half of this cost. There is also a 30% business coordinator, regional business coordinator for each cluster in the Negev. Again, as I said before, this is the bricks and mortar, the people who will create the forum, who will run it. And so we are asking for your support for their positions. We are also asking Ness to support the program development for the East, for the mentoring, for example, and for the ideas and to develop and to look at options for fundraising, etc. So that's what they will actually be doing. We hope to do, as I said before, a 10-week training course for business coordinators. We have a regional conference that we want to set up. It shouldn't be too expensive again, because Ma'of said that they're willing to provide a big part of the money, and Eretz Ir will provide the physical venue at our offices in Beersheba. The evaluation for Sapir College, which is, I think, one of the most important aspects of this program, will be made possible, if you will agree, mostly by you, but also, as I said before, the UJA agreed to support Eretz Ir's activity with small businesses. They have given us, it says here, $15,000, but UJA gave Eretz Ir $65,000 for our work towards supporting small businesses in the Negev, but $50,000 out of that is going directly to actually helping with e-commerce, online sales, and reducing shipping costs for businesses. And the other $15,000 is going towards the training for business coordinators and the coordination of the program. What else can I say? Jewish National Fund, just like UJA, has agreed that part of the funding that it's providing us will go towards this overarching goal of working together. Like you, they are supporting many, I think all of the partners in this presentation, in this coalition. And so that is why they are also putting some of the funding for the management of it. And the Ministry of Economy, as I said, I don't think I've mentioned, I apologize. Eretz Ir won about $170,000 from the Ministry of Economy to assist small businesses. Jewish National Fund and UJA are providing the matching funds for that. And then each one of these three factors are providing matching for the collaboration around the actual program. I hope that was clear going through this table.
Tamara, I have a question related to what you just said, if you can just clarify. So could there be more dollars from the Ministry of Economy put forth into this just to offset some of it, if we were to give you less and this would still be viable? Is that an option?
So in the coming year, I don't expect so. I have to say that the truth. It may come from Ma'of. So the Ministry of Economy has a small and medium business administration, and Ma'of is its training arm or on the ground arm. And they are the partners in our program, and they are giving the value,
money worthwhile, money worth.
The money worth for a lot of the training. So the money might be coming from that, but I don't expect they will put actual dollars towards the personnel in this program or something like that. I do hope that we will be able to request some fee from the municipalities that are taking part in the training program. And that is my plan for how we will start reaching closer to the 19,000 that we still need to raise. And also Yuval and I are still discussing whether and how and when after the elections, we will be able to see if the clusters have also some budget set aside. This has been a terrible year for local authorities. I'm gonna put it on the table. The government, there is no budget for a long time now, there hasn't been a budget. And so that's why we can't make sure that that will happen. We do think that we'll be able to fundraise.
Tamara, I just want to make clear about the Ministry of Economy tender that you won. It's that really, it's the same like the tender that the Metro Negev app won. They have to spend million shekels in addition to get 500,000 shekels from the government. And most of this amount of money that they are going to get from the Ministry of Economy is for shipment. Not all of, they cannot use all the money for this project specifically. They can only use small part of the money, and most of it has to go to shipments for small and medium businesses.
Exactly.
Any more questions?
Yeah, I have a couple questions. How are you?
Hey, Norman.
Are there any Bedouin communities involved in the coalition at this point?
Yes, Yuval, talk to the development.
Yeah, for sure. The Eastern Negev cluster and the Western Negev cluster are deeply involved with the Bedouin communities.
Which ones?
And for the Western Negev, it's Rat and Lakia.
Okay.
Those are the ones in the cluster, and we've already invested, just to give you an approximation, about 350,000 shekels in progressing the SMEs in Rat, building a triple language website and allowing personnel to put them on board and to do a lot of activities to develop and progress the small and medium businesses ecosystem. And also in the Eastern Negev cluster, we have Kseife and Chura and Segev Shalom. They're all involved. They're all on board. They're all part of the forum.
Good. Are any of these Bedouin communities, municipalities, on the steering committee, or do they give you, as the Western Eastern Negev clusters, the power to represent them? How does that work?
Tamar, do you want to?
Sure, so it's exactly as you said, the second thing, Norman. Again, there's 26 municipalities that are represented by both clusters. We can't, for the steering committee, we have had to make it very thin so that decisions can be made. But if Yuval is sitting on that steering committee, he's not making the decisions by himself. Every month he meets with the municipalities in his business coordinators forum, which have the members of the Bedouin and the Jewish communities in the cluster. They talk to them about their needs. They tell us what they need. They come back to us. We design a program, etc. So it's this back and forth. And also Johan is representing communities that are not in either cluster. That's the idea. And also, again, the steering committee is the one to try to make the wheels start moving. But the people who will there's an army saying in Israel of holding the garni or getting under the garni.
Carrying the stretcher.
Thank you, carrying the stretcher. So the people who are actually going to then start driving the change are the business coordinators on the ground. So Leon, he can also talk about it a little more. He has so much experience in Ramat Negev in developing projects that he can partner with other municipal business coordinators to create a project together. And that's the idea. We're not going to do it for them.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Great presentation. Let me ask you, since this is obviously long-term project, do you feel that you'll be able to create the funds for ongoing through the municipalities in case it doesn't come from the government?
Full program as it is today for the first year, I don't think so.
No. Let's say we help you through the first year.
Yeah.
Going forward, to keep this sustainable and going, because obviously an investment for 1 year and this means nothing.
So what we did,
crucial.
So the answer is yes, but again, it depends on what's going to happen next year. It depends economically, budget-wise, in the government, etc. But I have to say, we did, as I said before, dozens of calls with mayors, and we asked them very directly, will you be willing to put in money for this? And the answer was yes. Even, Nissan Ben Chemo, who is the chair of the Negev Council about Arad, said yes. And Mitzveh Peramon said yes. And Be'er Sheva said yes. They all said yes. We will just need to find the right model for it, who pays more, who pays less. And also the matching funds, because we had, for example, Russell Robinson from JNF was telling us to tell the mayors, he will give them $1 for $1 if they will also invest in this. So that can also help incentivize the municipalities. Will it happen within 1 year or 2 years that we'll be able to completely do it? I assume it will be a little longer, but I am optimistic, as I said before.
Thank you.
Any more questions? Everything is clear?
Yeah, good. Who's going to win the election?
That's the hardest question, Norman. It's not fair.
Yeah. No
We were
kid, no
having such a
kidding,
nice
no kidding.
conversation, Norman.
I
No
think,
kidding.
Norman, I know who the prime minister was going to be, but I'm going to write it on a note so we don't open it now. I have a good guess.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you
very
all
much.
so much.
Thank
as
you.
always.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the
Thank
opportunity
you
as
for that.
always.
Good to see everyone.
Great presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Good care.
Before we sign off, and we did great time-wise. I think this was really good. Thanks, Odelia and Rini and everyone. I didn't see for feedback in terms of, did everyone get the email about the 23rd for kind of a look back, the same way we did after the first group? Rini, do you know what the responses are? I mean, do we have a?
So I have a couple, I know one person was saying that they were not available. But I wanted to I figured we would open this up today and see if there are others, and we can look further down the line. We didn't want to go too far to have this quick rehash, but at the same time, I know Pesach is coming up. So the next week's schedule gets pretty tight. So those of us minus, look, we have Phyllis joining us.
Hi, Phil.
Hi, Phyllis.
Hey, hi, Phyllis.
Hi, Phyllis.
So maybe could we see, in case you haven't responded, could we see a show of hands today of who that the 23rd works?
The 23rd works, please.
Yeah. I'm flexible.
Okay, so 1, 2,
So
Jean?
What time on the 23rd? I'm sorry.
We would do 8:30 to 10.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so it looks like we're good.
Yeah.
Great. Okay.
Before we're gonna say goodbye, I just want to say happy birthday to
Oh.
Oh.
Happy birthday, Renee.
Happy
birthday.
Thank you very much.
So
Happy birthday.
Mazel tov.
Right, we have to learn
Thank
new
you.
techniques to blow out the candles. I'm getting pretty good at waving.
Stop screen sharing.
Yeah.
Thank
Judy,
you.
what are those
I did it for
mountains?
you.
Thank you.
That's
Happy
actually
birthday.
Mount Sinai. I know it's not technically Israel at the moment, but it is Mount Sinai. So
Oh.
That's not where it was.
She's getting the Torah.
Don't
She's
worry
getting
about
the
it.
Torah.
a little early, but
You have,
still part
you
of
have 9 weeks to find the right
so.
place.
Right.
And it's great to
Thank
see
you very
Phyllis.
much.
To go through the desert.
Gordon.
Yes.
Chambers of Commerce. How effective are they?
They're very effective, but I'm retired.
No, I know, but this thing with the last project that we just looked at is reminiscent of staffing municipalities with coordinators that are, in essence, municipal chamber of commerce.
But you know, Norman, that we have a history of putting people together who never worked together, starting with the youth directors and starting with the mayors. And this is right in the line of what Ness has been doing since day one.
That's the only thing that I see with this
They see themselves as unique. Our history goes back a little farther, and I don't think this is anything that we haven't done before.
That's right.
Right.
I remember that night we were in Arad, and we said to the youth director, have you ever met the youth directors in the neighboring communities? And he said no, and the next night they were all there and it started.
And I just wanted to update everyone. The fund currently has $10.2 million as of, it says as of today, but it's, Howard, correct me if I'm wrong, it's probably a little bit before. And we had talked about giving it out somewhere in the 850 plus or minus range, something like that.
I mean, obviously, Howard pointed it out. We don't fund toilets and chairs, so.
Well, in that specific budget line, it was only 10,000 of the 100 they were asking for that was physical. There was one I didn't want to ask at the very end, but 16,000 was for quote fringe benefits. I have no idea what that means. Unless it's like gas or stuff for the
Social Security.
For the
usually it's health benefits, Social Security.
Coordinators, you know, I don't know. But I think they were, you know, all great projects. I think we see these as, you know, looking beyond very limited impact. I think these all
definitely strategic.
Are strategic. And I think we can see that a lot of this has grown out of things where we brought different people together, and you know, Odelia has just created a new, you know, ecosystem. If we'll, you know, we change our lingo and year to year, and I think they're all exciting. You know, some of them may be done more efficiently or less efficiently or whatever, but you know, I think the way it worked out, it's even to see that where we ended up now was different than where we envisioned we were going, let's say last July. And of course the world looks different, but we've also kind of grown and evolved and kind of rolled with the punches, if you will, of what's happened, not just with the pandemic, but with you know, what's going on in the Negev. And I think you know, I think it's
almost COVID-free. Almost COVID-free, Howard.
Almost. Okay.
It's also nice to see with Zoom, we can really see a lot of different partners on the call, and that's been great.
That's nice.
Yeah, and the quality of the presentations.
Yeah.
You can see even the feedback from last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever it was, to this week, that they didn't.
Hours of homework with them.
Oh,
That's
well
good.
worth it, Odelia, well worth it. Thank you. Listen.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, they were very focused. I was really happy to see that, you know, sitting with them was very helpful. They did not review the whole slides. They talked less.
I think the presentations this year are really amazing. They're so organized and they're so well thought out. They actually create less questions, really, because they answer so many things about it. They really cover all the points. So, Delia, thank you so much. They really are.
Don't get used to the Zoom, Larry. You have to come.
Trust me, I'm ready to go back to Israel. No question.
I'm afraid you will like it, and then you will.
No, I'm ready to come back to Israel.
But you know, a lot of that happened because of the feedback from all of you, and because of your willingness to read the stuff before, to get it to us before, to review it. And so that's why the constant feedback is important, and we just keep trying to make it better and more concise and more.
Not a single one of them read their slides.
Exactly. It's true.
Thank you so much.
Any other suggestions that we can keep making it better?
These were absolutely, you got a sense of the people, you got a sense of the project, they knew how to move things. We got a chance to ask our questions. They got to the budgets. You could see, I just thought it was, I mean, they have to trust us to have read the material.
That's right.
You know, that's.
And they did. And thank you again for having them not read the slides.
And giving time for questions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Odelia, these three especially, it's so easy to see how crucial you were to pulling these groups together. So thank you for seeing beyond the individual applications and making them pull themselves together.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Cordelia.
See you
So
tomorrow.
when are we meeting again?
Tomorrow.
Same time, same place.
You're gonna stay us the whole week, Norman.
Place if you want, but
Who's buying the coffee?
Same bad time, same bad channel.
same
I'm
Zoom.
meeting downstairs.
Great. Okay. Good
All
day.
right.
to
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Thank you.
We can celebrate
Bye-bye.
more good things together.
Thank you.
Amen.
Bye.
Bye-bye.